When Cooler Master approached me for the review of the NR600P, I was not feeling it. I mean, why would a company launch a case in 2020 without RGB, tempered glass, PSU shroud, or even some angular lines? But the more I used the case, clearer it became. Let's begin. The craze of tempered glass and RGB is cool, but sometimes it's just too much. And companies, willingly or not, don't put in efforts to offer feature which provide convenience or even real-time value. Cooler Master is not doing anything revolutionary here with the NR600P. It's a very specific case targeted towards a very specific market, and that's the desktop workstation market. But the focus on basics and convenience are features which the gaming industry can surely pick up. Take the all mesh design. More and more cases are moving towards it. It's clean, functional, and still looks modern with its gentle curves and geometric support braces. I have seen a fair share of cases which trade looks for airflow to achieve this modern, clean look. But as you see here, there are more functional ways to achieve it. The lack of tempered glass was a refreshing experience. It's understandable why tempered glass was omitted from a case like this. Those who work tirelessly on their PCs don't have the time to glance on their PC's glowing light shows. When you think about it, there's nothing wrong with a solidly built side panel. When your eyes are glued to the screen while gaming or working, the lines between a glass and a steel panel are a little blurred. It's the top and the front of the case where the highlight features lie. The I/O is packed with 3 USB 3 ports, one of which is a Type-C port. The addition of an SD card reader makes the intentions clear. NR600P is meant for creative professionals. But the best part is not the ports, but the cable. By using a custom PCB, the USB ports and the SD card slot communicates with the motherboard with just a single USB 3 cable. The two Hotswap bays are easy to use. It's not a feature for the general audience, but users dealing with multiple drives for data backup and migration will consider it as a boon. Think of it like a large card reader. Features like these saves time, and for some people, the passing minutes mean actual money. It becomes a tool, and if companies developed more products with this philosophy, the world would have been a lot better place. The interiors will be considered old school by today's standard. Everything is laid bare with no PSU shroud or cable bars in sight. Allow me to make a confession here. I don't like PSU shrouds. Or let me rephrase it for you. I don't like badly designed PSU shrouds. I believe they are more of a hindrance than a basic feature in most cases. And not having to manhandle cables in a tiny cramped space is an experience that I would like to have every now and then. And people who raise the point of cable management, well, let's say it's an art, and the artist matters. Just to prove my point, I use a non-modular power supply unit and a micro ATX board. Not to brag, but I will rate my cable work above average. To aid the cable management, these metal trays play the dual role of SSD holders and cable covers. The idea is smart, reliable, and honestly inspiring. Though I wish the cable pass-throughs were a little slimmer. The support for dual socket boards and the true eATX motherboards show the case means business. Again, not a general feature, but one that's important for a niche market. Storage options are plenty, and the easy to use hard drive cage can be configured in multiple ways to suit radiator mounting options. But the trays, Cooler Master clearly missed the mark here by going with cheap and generic design that's cumbersome to mount drives on. The pins come out too easily, and it definitely warrants an upgrade on the next revision. To add to it, someone at the assembly line was a little too over enthusiastic with a screwdriver for our case sample and stripped the threads on one of the SSD tray screws. So it's stuck there now. The openness of the frame with the basic design elements made the build process easy. I don't want hurdles, and this case does not offer them. The little plastic sleeve for front I/O cables deserves a special mention. Other companies are doing it already, but I hope Cooler Masters continue to include it in all of their future cases. This attention to detail was sorely missed in one very crucial part of the case. It's the fans, and I'm not a big fan of it. The stock fans do not match the case at all. Let's put it simply. Basic does not necessarily mean low quality, but these fans feel low quality, and honestly, I was not pleased to see them. Fortunately, they do their job fine and the temperatures were under control in our tests, but this should definitely go in their upgrade list. The idea of this video was not about me being a preacher and go all anti-RGB or anti-tempered glass. The video was about being simple, minimal, and still delivering value in terms of performance, build quality, features, and overall usability. You can substitute Cooler Master NR600P with any other case or any other brand, and my video would have still been the same. You can have your cake and still eat it. You can have RGB and tempered glass and still maintain good airflow. Or you can have a PSU shroud and still screw up your cable management. So all I can say or request to the companies or the users is to maybe sometimes look beyond the superficial features and focus on the matters that matter. So this was a review of the Cooler Master NR600P. Now I would like to ask Cooler Master about the name. Why would you name your case NR600P when you already have a case named NR600 and that looks completely different? So maybe they should work on the naming scheme a little bit. Apart from it, there are many good things about the case, but the case is riddled with some mediocre elements like the hard drive trays or the cheap feeling fans. The performance is adequate, the build quality of other structures is acceptable, but the fans, they definitely need a change. And at the price of rupees 11,500, this is not a very cheap case. And in fact, this is one of the most expensive cases that I have actually personally built. But for users who are looking for a very specialized case with support for dual socket motherboards or expandable storage options, then this is one of the very few options available in the market. The features like the Hotswap base, the single cable design of the USB 3 ports and the SD card reader, and the use of simple yet innovative SSD tray mounts for cable management definitely adds value to the case. To sum it up, this case needs some updates in the future. It needs a revision too. But there are definitely features which I would like Cooler Master and maybe other brands to bring into gaming cases or some lower end cases. If you have any feedback or questions about the case, then do let us know in the comments. And this was Sunny with Hardware Mana, and I will meet you in the next one. Bye.